Myself M. Gunakar, Assistant Professor of Zoology, Government Degree College, Siddipet, Telangana State. Today, our topic is neoteny and pedogenesis. Before going into the actual topic of neoteny and pedogenesis, we need to understand some of the basic terms. What is metamorphosis? Metamorphosis is the transformation of a larva which is so unlike the adult in shape, size and habits into the adult is called metamorphosis. In short, the transformation of a larva into the adult is called metamorphosis. The metamorphosis, the word is derived from Greek word metamorphon, which means to transform. In many invertebrates and chordates and some chordates, there is the larval stage in the life history. This larva undergoes radical changes in its organization to become the adult. A larva is a young one of an animal which is so unlike the adult. It is an immature that it cannot reproduce. This undergoes morphological and physiological changes to become the adult. Very often, the larvae live in a different habitat than the adults. They have different feeding habits too. Larva then metamorphoses into an adult, which then grows to maturity when it can reproduce. In some animals, the changes may be slight, slow and gradual, but in some others, the changes are radical and quick. The larva of for example, if you see the larva of the frog is called the tadpole. It is fish-like, aquatic, gill-breathing, herbivorous, and you can see in this figure, and swimming in water with the help of its fin-like tail. But this becomes the adult frog, which is amphibious, air-breathing, carnivorous and hopping about with limbs. Now coming to what are the processes that are involved in metamorphosis? What are the hormones that are involved in this process of metamorphosis? Actually, the main hormones which are involved is pituitary gland hormones as well as the hypothalamus hormones. Actually, this hypothalamus hormone, in the presence of various environmental factors, influences or releases thyroid releasing hormone, and this thyroid releasing hormone influences the pituitary, so that pituitary gland releases thyroid stimulating hormone which stimulates the thyroid, and thyroid in turn releases triiodothyronine and tetraiodothyronine. So these are the actual hormones that constitute thyroxine, and this thyroxine helps or it influences the metamorphosis. So now here you can see hypothalamus which secretes, so here you can see in this process hypothalamus secretes thyroid releasing hormone which stimulates pituitary gland, then that secretes thyroid stimulating hormone, and in turn it stimulates the thyroid gland that secretes thyroxine which starts metamorphosis. But interruption of any of the above steps leads to stopping of metamorphosis. Then, if for any reason metamorphosis stops, then organism becomes sexually mature though retaining larval characters such as gills, then it is a special phenomena. If for any reason metamorphosis stops but the organism becomes sexually mature though retaining larval characters such as gills, then it is a special phenomena. Then what is that special phenomena? Here in this animal, which belongs to the Urodela order of amphibia, where the metamorphosis of a particular animal, that means larval stage, say aquatic larva here. So this example is ambystoma. The animal which you can see is an ambystoma, or it is also called amblystoma. It is called salamander. So it is a American salamander which is called tiger salamander, which is found in Mexico and southwest United States, where it has a larval stage called in aquatic form, an aquatic larval stage called axolotl larva. This axolotl larva, in the presence of thyroid hormone along with the other environmental factors and genetic factors, it undergoes metamorphosis, then it becomes adult. So like this. But if for any reason, if environmental factors or genetic influences, because of that thyroid hormone is not secreted, then it transforms itself into another form, that is called the aquatic adult pedomorph, which retains the larval characters. That is, for example, you can see the gills are present in this, that is gill breathing, whereas in the adult animal this is a lung breathing animal. In the pedomorph only gills are present, that's why gills helpful in respiration. Now the two terms we can come to conclusion is neoteny and pedogenesis. What are these two terms? So neoteny, the term derived from a Latin word neotenia, which means to extend. That means larval life is extended. This term was proposed by Julius Coleman in 1885. And it is also called juvenilization. It is defined as retention of larval characters during the adult body. Chondrichthyes fishes, in the presence of larval gills and adult salamander, just now we have seen in this. So you can see here in this figure also the adult salamander, that means the adult salamander gills are present here. Now then, what is pedogenesis? This term was proposed by K.M. Baer in 1865. The term is also called pedomorphosis. It is defined as the development of gonads or production of young ones by immature larval or pre-adult animals, or precocious development of gonads in larva. That means sexual maturation is accelerated, still the animal is in this larval stage. This phenomenon can be seen in other animals like gallfly, liver fluke, including the salamander just now we have seen. Now come to what is the speciality of this salamander? There is an overlapping of neoteny and pedogenesis. Let us look into it. Some aquatic larval urodils or chordates, which comes under the amphibia, there is a delay or fail to metamorphose, but they become sexually mature, mate and produce even fertile eggs. Do they represent this neoteny or pedogenesis? If we look these animals as adults, which retain certain larval characters not having metamorphosed, this is called neoteny. Just now we have seen the retention of gills even in the adult form. Or if they are considered larvae in which the reproductive organs develop precociously, that is advanced, that means within the larval stage they sexually mature, this is called pedogenesis. So in these amphibians, neoteny and pedogenesis are overlapped, it seems, isn't it? Now you can see. Now the Amblystoma, which is a salamander species, there are two species which are found in one of the species is a Mexican species, and the other species which is found in Colorado, the Amblystoma, also called Amblystoma is its scientific name. Amblystoma mexicanum, a Mexican salamander, and Amblystoma tigrinum, tiger salamander of Colorado, North America, both go through a gilled larval stage and then metamorphose into adult air-breathing landforms in general conditions. But under certain conditions, larvae do not metamorphose, retain their larval characters but become sexually mature. That is morphological immaturity but sexual maturity. This larval stage with external gills is called axolotl larva. This axolotl larva is named by local Mexicans and who use it as edible food also. Now, what are the factors that is influencing metamorphosis? There are two types of factors: extrinsic factors and intrinsic factors. Abundant food, cold water, insufficient iodine, these are the three extrinsic factors which cause failure of metamorphosis and retention of larval characters. Whereas the drying up of swamps, lack of food, rise in temperature in water, they induce metamorphosis, so it metamorphosis to become adult. And there are some intrinsic factors also. There are two hormones which are called glucocorticoid hormone, which promotes metamorphosis, whereas prolactin hormone, which inhibits metamorphosis. Of prolactin, these processes influence neoteny and pedogenesis. Then there are three types of neoteny. One is partial neoteny, where metamorphosis is delayed due to temporary ecological or physiological changes in environment. For example, tadpoles and larvae of other species, they tide over the winter season, where the neoteny can be seen only partially. When the winter season is completed, again the metamorphosis continued. Then intermediate neoteny, which is shown by axolotl, which also reproduce sexually but undergo metamorphosis when suitable conditions arises again. Then third type is extreme neoteny. Extreme neoteny or total neoteny, where the axolotl larva remains in larval stages throughout. Even treatment with thyroxine fails to induce metamorphosis because the tissue response is absent. Now let us come to the genetics of neoteny. The causes of neoteny are not properly known so far. The genetic basis for metamorphosis seems to be variable and subject to influenced by various factors. Genes for metamorphosis have become suppressed in neotenic populations, but not entirely absent, because sometimes metamorphosed individuals also appear. Now lastly, what is the significance of neoteny? Neoteny is looked upon as a consequence of adaptation to neighboring environments, where retention of larval gills and other larval features may be advantageous in some animals. So they retain their larval gills and other features, and they continue in the form of larva forever. And neoteny can be seen in many animals, including humans also. Thank you.